ladies and gentlemen. Good Monday morning and welcome to another episode of the Toxic Happy Hour, where we are toxic towards scams that delay the adoption of global sound money. Today, Pubby and I are visited in the pub by no other than the guy who invented infinity, Mr. Knut Svanholm, all the way from Scandinavia, a fellow Viking. Woo, woo, woo. How's it going, Knut? Welcome to the. This is your official appearance. It's the 4th in January, but welcome to your official appearance. And what are you drinking today, mate?
Just beer. It's Monday.
Yeah. It's Monday, but it is evening, and this is where I would ask Pubby what he's having, but in best Toxic Happy Hour style, all of a sudden Pubby pulls an exit scam, and there he goes. He's gone.
He passed out already.
Oh my God! Oh, and he's back.
Yeah.
How much did you make on the exit scam, Pubby? Is it worth it?
No, but you know what? Because I had everything ready to go for the show. You know, have Sierra Nevada today. And it's funny because I was looking. I have all these different books, and I'll get to the story later on something from Knut's book on the cover, which I was looking for a photo, and I'll explain this story a little bit later. And while I was doing that, I found a book. I forgot I'd even bought this book. I don't know why I did. And
this is your book, Knut.
No. I remember I was traveling through Germany, and I don't know if you've heard of this. It's called "The Almost Nearly Perfect People: Behind the Myth of the Scandinavian Utopia."
Oh yeah, I've seen that at airports.
Yes. And for some reason, probably 2 years ago, I picked it up. I still haven't opened it yet, but yeah. So we'll find out why Scandinavians are perfect today, I guess.
Yeah, or that's like the book that's debunking that myth, right?
I think so.
I heard a Brit say once that it's not that Swedes don't change their minds. It's just that they do it all at the same time, like a school of fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So why didn't you tell us a little bit about your book? Let's hear a little bit about your book, why you wrote it, and what your. Can I ask what the conclusion is, or should people read it themselves?
Spoilers, you mean?
Yeah. All right. So without spoiling it, tell us why you wrote it and what you wrote about.
Do I have the books in somewhere? Oh, they probably. Oh yeah. I have a big one in my cover now.
Yeah. All right. I'll just hold this up for a while.
Yeah, here they are.
Yes.
These are my proper books. I wrote sort of a prototype before this, but the thing is, I started writing about Bitcoin in 2017 after having taken a course at the University of Nicosia, Cyprus in 2016.
Yeah.
I sort of fell down the rabbit hole a couple of years earlier than that even, or I was curious about it, but and the more I got to the more I learned about it, the more I realized I have to get this properly. So I enlisted to that course and really enjoyed that. Andreas Antonopoulos was one of the teachers, and then they wanted me to give me a scholarship to go to take the entire master's degree. But I thought that's a lot of money, and I might as well just buy some Bitcoin and hodl them instead, which has turned out to be the right choice by far.
Wait, you said they wanted to give you a scholarship, but you still had to pay? What kind of scholarship is that?
Yeah. It's a sort of a fake scholarship. Like you got a 15% discount if you were one of the top students in the online course there, and so. but I skipped all that and started writing about Bitcoin instead. And I thought, if I start writing and try to connect with people, that's a better way to approach this. So I wrote articles and published them on Medium for about a year. I was bored. I was working on a crew transfer vessel at the time in a wind farm in southern Denmark, and at this particular job, we had those guys that inspect the wings of the turbines on board, and we just drove them to a turbine and let them off, and they climbed up and they hang themselves from long ropes from up the nozzle and down on the wing and check every inch of the wing. And that takes all day. So all we did once we dropped them off was just more to a wind turbine and wait for 8 hours to pick them up again and drive them ashore. And of course, that bored the hell out of me. I had a Danish deckhand, and he didn't seem to mind. He just sat in a chair for 8 hours, staring into the wall, and seemed fine with that. I have way too many letter combinations for that, so I started playing phone games and got bored with that in 15 minutes. Should we do some maintenance work? Did that for 20 minutes, check some oil and changing a filter or something, and this is too boring. I have to do something. So I started writing about Bitcoin and publishing my articles on Medium. And when the Segwit 2x hard fork was, or the Segwit hard fork was approaching on August 17th in 2017.
Yes.
I wrote an article about how to secure your private keys. Since if you didn't have your private keys, you wouldn't be able to make any money off the cross between a train robbery and a Christmas gift that the Bcash fork was. But if you switched your Btrash to proper Bitcoin at an early stage, you could get almost 0.2 Bitcoin per Bitcoin Cash token.
Yeah.
So I wrote an article about that, and that got sort of viral. Got 70,000 reads for that. And I had experienced stuff going viral on the internet once before with my band. We made a rock video that ended up on the Pirate Bay for 3 days and got about 100,000 views on YouTube. And this was the second time I experienced something like that, and I thought, maybe this internet thing is not as impossible as I think it is. Maybe there's something here. Maybe I can have a voice. So I continued writing, of course, fueled by gaining followers and everything. And after having done that for about a year, I decided to put the articles together into a book, because you could make a book on using Amazon or Amazon Kindle and publish your own book. So I did that mostly just to see what the process was like. And I brought that book to a blockchain conference in Stockholm, which I went to because I wanted to see Richard Hart. This was before Richard Hart was turned into the biggest scammer ever with his shit coinery. And he mentioned something. I mean, he was really into Bitcoin at the time, but I think that is that conference is when he realized that, hey, I could make my own coin and make a shit ton of money out of scamming people too, because he sort of mentioned something about it. And I gave him a book, and I gave some other people a book, and but I felt so alone at that conference, because where are the Bitcoiners? There's just it was just for shitcoiners. There was not a single Bitcoiner there. I felt like everyone talked about Bitcoin as if it had failed and new and better technology had taken over, and the tokenization and Internet 3.0 and all this. Thank you. You can get your own cap. but you have to. Thank you, Plan Marcus. You can get your own cap, but there's a limited amount of caps and T-shirts and hoodies with this incredible design.
Yeah.
Here, this is the Knut Svanholm collection.
Okay, go ahead, Pubby. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and if you want one that was actually worn by Knut, that'll cost you extra.
Yeah. Blood, sweat, and tears included.
Right.
So
anyway, yeah.
Oh, I had a question because I remember, we got to hang out with Gigi a bit, and I remember, I believe when we found out, he had done his 21 lessons. I believe I don't know if there was a book before that where it was also a collection of articles. And it seems like with you or anyone else, you do these articles when you first find Bitcoin. And what's great is when you come into the space, there's just so many different aspects of Bitcoin, man, on what you can compare it to in life. And your brain, I know, can probably feel scattered. How do you consolidate? How do you come down to one point of view? Because you could write 50 articles on 50 different aspects of Bitcoin. So how do you consolidate that into a funnel, into like one cohesive thought?
When I look back at the articles, when I see the first article, it's I don't remember the name of it, but it's about it compares Bitcoin to like the first issue of Donald Duck the comic, and like what would you rather have, the first issue of the Donald Duck comic or the best issue? Because the best issue is a subjective thing, but there can only be one first one. So I was on to this absolute scarcity narrative from the beginning. And that's coming from that angle. That's where I sort of found my voice in this. And I mean, coming up with ideas for articles, they just happen while you're thinking of something. Well, one thing I realized is that the harder I work and the more other stuff I do, the more other stuff I have to do with my full-time job and my family and everything. The more ideas come for the Bitcoin articles. So it's not like I can sit at home and just slack and wait for stuff to happen. It's actually better to have too much to do, because that's what gets my gears running. But anyway, I wrote that book called 3-Minute Reads on Bitcoin, like the collection of articles, and I published it. And all of a sudden, when you Googled my name, or that was the only thing that was associated to my name about Bitcoin, the only like merch, or the only actual physical thing.
Yeah. And
I was displeased with that, so I thought I better write a proper book about this, because I think I have more in me than just a collection of articles. And that's the whole taking the book to that blockchain conference didn't work out too well. So I thought I better write a better book, or a real book that has a narrative and a sort of a red thread through it.
So one of the things that really stood out in the beginning, one, shout out to Hodlanot for writing the forward. Also,
for the second book,
for the second book, But you had a great point in there, and this to me is the crux of what it takes for someone to find Bitcoin, as it were. You were talking about when there's a new idea. Okay, it can either fit into your existing narrative, and I think you called it a simulation, or guess what? You've got to reshape the box, resize the box, and your own thinking. And you call that accommodation, which to me that is the beginning of all Bitcoiner knowledge, are the ones who are willing for that accommodation.
Yeah, you have an open mind. As you have to have an open mind, and what was that? Frank Zappa said, "A mind is like a parachute; it doesn't work if it's not open." But then I have another favorite quote about open-mindedness, and that's from Terry Pratchett. who said that the problem with an open mind is that people will come along and try to put stuff in it, and that you have to beware of people trying to put stuff in your mind and try to put stuff in there yourself instead.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want me to go on with the book story?
If you like, well, what do you say, Puppy? I mean,
I got like a list of things from the book here to just I love to hear comments about.
Anyway, long story short, then I had this as a 2018 what's it called, New Year's resolution, that I would write a page a day for the entire year.
Yeah.
And I kept that for 100 days, and then I got bored with writing. So I felt sort of done with it. So and I got a lot of help with it, a lot of help with the editing and proofreading and stuff.
Yeah. Apparently on April 10th, you just said, "Fuck it, I'm done." 100 days into the year.
Yeah. And then I brought a bunch of these to Baltic Honey Badger in Riga, and after that they just took off, and I had a lot more success with them than I ever expected. So then I thought I have to follow this up. So I wrote another book during my vacation in Spain last winter, and I wrote for an hour each morning. And yeah,
I find vacations to be some of the most not inspiring moments, but when you really give your brain a break from the everyday life. That's when you start. Oh, okay. I guess I'm not meant to shill another author's book, but that's the only book I have within reach here.
Yeah.
But Knut, can you explain to us the concept of infinity divided by 21 million?
Yeah, this is from an article I wrote for Citadel 21 magazine, called the Banach-Tarski paradox and Bitcoin, or something like that, and it got condensed into the essentials and turned into a video with the help of Guy Swan and Ione Appleberg. I made 3 of those now, small animations, and the concept is when hyper Bitcoinization happens, and after that is done, then all the money in the world will be in Bitcoin instead. Like all the value of all the money in the world will be in Bitcoin instead. But the thing is, it doesn't end there. It's like literally the value of everything that is, and also the speculative value of everything that ever will be. So there is literally no end point to how valuable a Bitcoin can become. Like I see it, I think about this a lot because it's such a weird thought, and I'm trying to figure out in what ways it is flawed. And the thing I've come up with is like there's a point at some price that people will start selling off their Bitcoin because it's too risky to keep that much wealth.
In one asset, you could say in one asset. I mean, it's not risky to keep wealth, but that's what I've been saying earlier. In other videos, that look, if someone becomes financially independent times 30, then then it's too risky not to at least take 3 times financial independence off the table, park it in something else. Even though we know that they're going to go down in value, they will collapse
compared to Bitcoin.
Not only compared to Bitcoin, but but if you have that much wealth in that one asset and you don't have anything else, like me, I don't even have a car, right? It would be silly at one stage not to think about having something else, and definitely not shit coins. We're not keen on them. So what Knut, I think what you've been talking about earlier, if I understand you correct, which is something that Jeff Booth also, I think, says, I'm totally subscriber to it, that once Bitcoin is money and all of a sudden we have a free market interest rate, we have a proper allocation of capital, not the misallocation of capital caused by central banks that are messing around with interest rate, building houses when we should be building tech, for instance. Then the growth of society, the growth of output, of value created in society will increase. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, sort of. There are two things here. Like right now, we have a global, very inefficient global free market, but there's some free market stuff going on globally. They market it as a free market, but it's not really free, since we have all this central banking and all the taxes and all the like limitations, and you have to pay for a lot of bureaucracy everywhere and a lot of mismanagement, and especially the money printing, which makes people it screws with the incentive structures. Makes when people want to spend their money, they tend to spend them on, when they're incentivized to spend, they spend on frivolous things, and they do not make long-term investments. I mean, like everyone coming into Bitcoin knows that the more your Bitcoins become valuable, the less you want to spend them, because you see this playing out. You see that an asset that not only keeps its value, but its purchasing power goes up over time, then you become reluctant to spend it. And it's a very easy psychological phenomena to understand. And as Jeff Booth says, we're in an exponential curve right now when it comes to things getting cheaper. Because if you really think about every tool that mankind has ever invented is invented to save time. That's the purpose of every tool there is, to save someone time, to give, like, it's based in human action, right? Everyone tries to acquire means in order to reach their different ends. Everyone has different ends. We all want different things. Some of us want similar things, but we try to acquire means in order to reach our ends, and we invent tools in order to save time for us to acquire more means to reach our ends earlier on. And the thing is, when everyone switches to Bitcoin, and we have a truly global free market society that can't be tampered with, that can't be censored, that can't be when we have that, when we've reached hyper Bitcoinization, this process of everything getting cheaper doesn't end there. On the contrary, it accelerates there. So while Bitcoin's adoption curve might be S-shaped, like every other network technology, like the TV or Facebook or Google or anything else in the last 50 years that is network technology, it follows an S curve according to Metcalfe's law. If you know about that, the value of a network is proportional to the square of the users of that network.
Yep.
Yeah, and this means that sooner or later the curve will go exponential and then level out, because everyone on Earth has adopted everyone that can has adopted the technology. This happened to the TV and the smartphone and you name it. But with Bitcoin, you can have an adoption curve for every citizen, every human being on Earth, but that doesn't mean it ends there. It means that when every person on Earth has a Bitcoin wallet on their phone, they can still pour more money and more wealth into Bitcoin. And once that is done, and all the money in the world is in Bitcoin, it definitely doesn't end there either, because then we have this fully functional global free market economy, which will allocate resources much better, and the purchasing power of each Bitcoin will be impossible to grasp in dollar terms, because the dollar will be useless by then. And this exponential development in technology that we have now, it's not going to level out once we're in a free market global economy denominated in Bitcoin. It will accelerate even further. There's a chance that that this exponentiality will go even freakier than it is now, and that's just mind-boggling. Because as I see it, this is the little man's one shot at actually getting something out of the abundance of stuff that is already there. We're getting free photos, we're getting free emails, we're getting free whatever, like free payment apps. They're already there. You don't need shit coins for that. They're like Google Pay and Apple Pay and all this stuff. It's already there for free. So that fast transaction is not worth anything. It's free, and photos are free, videos are free. Like you can make a movie for free. You can do anything. What do I call the facial, not facial recognition, but when you change someone's face, what's it called? The face app?
Face swap.
Face swap. That's free. Do you know how what an advanced invention that is? How much computing power is needed in order to like it's so weird, and we're in this exponential curve, and this since we're the only way that governments and central banks are trying to deal with this is to artificially keep the prices what they call stable. But prices, they shouldn't be stable. They should be going down so fast.
Knut, all I can say, man, is look, even if I had to pay for a face swap, I spend so much time with Anders on these shows. I would pay probably 1 Bitcoin right now for just a face swap, so I didn't have to stare at this mug.
Hey, I can put something over my head like this. If you pay me 1 Bitcoin, I'll dance. Yeah, I'll dance here behind the camera, no problem. Knut, so I want to understand here, while Pubby is taking it down a little bit here in terms of what we're talking about. I want to extend what you just said. I want to
Doorbell.
So what you're saying is that the reason that Bitcoin will continue to grow in real value, as we all know, is deflationary because it's limited and production output of society grows. But you're saying it's going to accelerate to some extent because people realize that because it's deflationary, because it grows in value, they will put in more and more of their wealth into Bitcoin. Is that the connection you made, or?
Yeah, at first, like if you put a modest amount into Bitcoin, that modest amount in like 5 or 10 years, that modest amount is not very modest anymore. It's probably the lion's share of your total net worth, because it goes up so fast, right? So you'll get less and less Bitcoins for your dollars, but Bitcoin has the potential, at least, to swallow the value of all other money that exists. Because why would you use or buy, or because buying and selling is the same thing. It's just 2 sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
But why would you be buying something that has worse properties than Bitcoin? Why would you want that?
Never.
There's no logic to that. Right now, there's a logic to it because you're kind of reluctant to use Bitcoin for purchases because you'd rather use the shitty fiat coins that you have because they're accepted everywhere and they're shit anyway. So you might as well just spend them. But what this leads to in the long run is that all of the wealth goes into Bitcoin.
No doubt. Look, we all believe in that. But why would the true value increase like faster than deflation once we have full Bitcoin adoption and Bitcoin is the only money around? That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Imagine a world like prices are going down now. Like production costs and shipping costs are going down now at an ever accelerating rate. Also, we're approaching zero marginal costs for everything. Imagine when you have a fully automated robot factory that can manufacture anything with 3D printers and whatever, and it all goes on like a small nuclear plant or solar panels or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can transport everything by drone and self-driving cars to wherever else for nothing. So the production cost is nothing. The mining cost is nothing, and the transportation cost is nothing. So you can literally print everything, make infinite amount of copies of everything. Now,
Bitcoin.
how do you solve this? How do people get access to this? Well, as long as there's inflationary currencies, they'll only see this happening, but not be able to eat the fruits of this fantastic innovation tree, since they're always getting poorer and poorer. The purchasing power is going down at all times. But I see Bitcoin as the access to this abundance, that we have a shot at gaining access to this abundance. And the way it won't drain the earth of resources and destroy the climate in the process is just because incentives are changed. You're still, since your Bitcoins will still go up in value, no matter what point you're getting in, then you will still be disincentivized to spend it frivolously. Because if there's one thing you wouldn't want to lose in an abundant world, is the ability to gain access to everything. So I think this is such a deep philosophical impact that this invention or discovery will have, because it changes everything, and it makes us into more caring, more beautiful creatures that don't waste and spend, but that will just be better at everything.
So that's a good segue, because one of the things from your book, what's interesting was, when people come into the space where you'll see a lot of the mainstream media articles, it was always is Satoshi Nakamoto. They always call the inventor of Bitcoin. You made a nuanced description of he discovered Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And it's easy to read over that, and people conflate the two. But to me, there's a profound difference. You want to go into that?
Yeah. And this has there are more angles to think about this than what's in the book. I mean, the thing that was discovered was absolute scarcity, absolute digital scarcity, or rather just absolute scarcity. We have never had that before. Every resource, every asset, like if you compare it to gold, I mean, this has been said a lot of times, but if the price of gold goes up, more money goes into gold mining, and then the flow of gold increases. So it's about the stock to flow ratio. You both read this in the Bitcoin Standard, probably.
Yes.
And you've heard it many times before, as I'm sure most of the audience has as well. The thing that differentiates Bitcoin from this is, like, no matter how much it goes up in value, the issuance schedule is fixed, and it can't be changed because of the ingenious difficulty adjustment algorithm, which is like the most beautiful thing in the world. And that's what makes this a discovery rather than an invention. And it's completely pointless to try to duplicate it, because that's like trying to duplicate resistance to duplication makes no sense. It's a non sequitur. It's just stupid. We discovered digital scarcity. We can only do that once, because there can always be an abundance of copies. But and this is the thing. The Satoshi Nakamoto is crowned the inventor of Bitcoin. And what would happen if he would come back and use his private keys and show his true identity and whatever? Because it's not Craig Wright at all. He would. That's like saying, what would happen if Christopher Columbus came back from the dead? Would America cease to exist?
Yeah. Well, you know,
no, not really.
you know what's yeah.
I want to make this point clear. What would happen if Christopher Columbus came back from the dead? Would America cease to exist? It's
No,
the same mechanic in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
If Satoshi Nakamoto comes back, it doesn't matter what the white paper said. It doesn't matter what it doesn't change things.
You made a great point there, and I think you mentioned something that Hal Finney said about if there's anything that comes after Bitcoin, pretty much everything's obsolete after that point. The game's over.
He had it right. Hal Finney put it really nicely. It's not my idea. Hal Finney came up with this ages ago.
I know.
Now that's
I learned it from you, man. I learned it from your book. I'm not trying to sound smart. I read your book.
Yeah. I'm not trying to steal any credit from Hal Finney.
No. Yeah.
I'm not worthy.
So what percentage of Satoshi Nakamoto was Hal Finney? 100%, or was there a team behind it a little?
Or was I kind of like the idea that Satoshi was the birth of AI, true general AI, that and it was written by the machines themselves, and it's all Skynet, and we're all fucked. it's Rocco's basilisk. We're getting punished for not making it come alive.
So two things. Number one, is it true you have a pet pig?
I have a. It's not a real pig, but on my 40th birthday, I got a model of a life-size model of a pig.
Okay. Number two.
Yeah.
Look, I know you're bringing it with the Swedish accent, but is it plebe or is it pleb? And be careful with your answer, because we know where Preston Pitch is on this.
Okay. Well, it's pleb because it's spelled.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
All right. So Puppy's heart is broken now.
There are more mispronunciations. It's not Mises. It's Mises. Ludwig von Mises.
Oh.
Not Mises. That's the worst one.
Anders doesn't care because he'll never read it.
There's something there. Knut, I want to ask your opinion. Michael Saylor, who basically he pioneered listed companies on the stock exchange buying Bitcoin to store the corporate the value on the balance sheet. He wrote also the manual on how other companies should do that. And this morning he tweeted out that Marathon Patent Group today announced that it has purchased 4,812.66 Bitcoin in an aggregate purchase price of $150 million. So it's another public company that adopts Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. What is your opinion on that, and what do you think we can expect from 2021 in this arena?
I would say to everyone out there that's listening, buy Bitcoin now, because once these macro guys come in, this is going to move the price even faster. And like when it's a beautiful prisoner's dilemma game theory type thing. I mean, if both parties do nothing, both lose. If one party buys before the other, that party wins. So they will at one point try to outcompete each other in being the first ones to buy Bitcoin. And Michael was an early bird there, and it's been said that early bird gets the worm, but it's the second mouse that gets the cheese. But in the case of Bitcoin, that might not be the case. I think it's sort of risky for a corporation or a large entity like that to hold Bitcoin, because I still see it as a problem that someone needs to hold the actual keys. And how do you do that? Does the corporation have some sort of like multi-sig agreement, or what's the solution for actually owning the Bitcoin? Because in Bitcoin, knowing is owning. knowing the key, the private key, is owning, and we blurred out the line between owning and knowing, which this is another one of my favorite things to think about, because that is what takes away violence from society.
Yeah.
When you can't take away stuff by force, but you have to provide something of value to your fellow man in order to get some value back from him or her, then violence becomes pointless, and you have to cooperate voluntarily and peacefully with each other, because there's no point in using violence when knowing is owning, when those are the same things.
That's the mind-blowing thing, or one of them. That when I came to the States, everyone has a different angle. Everyone has a different angle on what Bitcoin means to them. If you're in a country with hyperinflation, it's an obvious choice. If you're from a Western country, when I first heard about it, was more about, this is a cool thing to diversify into. It's just a new asset class. But the one that got to me was, one, the fact that you can memorize private keys blew me away. It's you have value. You could put millions or billions or trillions of dollar value, and all you got to do is memorize 24 words. It's you walk through an air, you just restart your life somewhere else.
Yeah, we just obsoleted borders. Borders are now obsolete. Sorry, customs office. You can go home now. It's pointless.
And that's and that's one of the focuses. And Andrew and I talked about this. That one that brought me in. I don't think there's enough of that being promoted. People, I love number go up technology as much as the next person. Don't get me wrong. But this is how, when everyone has their 1 minute Bitcoin pitch they can do to friends. And mine is, I just, we were talking to that, I asked the gentleman, name one asset that you own that can't be just confiscated from you.
Or just name one asset that you actually own.
Or that,
That's the thing. Everything else can be taken away.
Yeah.
This is, when knowing is owning, that's the only true ownership there is.
Oh,
the gentle art of keeping a secret.
You got a new hat there. Knowing is owning. Put that on a hat.
Owning. That's the next limited edition collection. The second limited edition collection.
Right.
Yeah.
So Knut, this is something I've been thinking about for the last couple of years, because if we can knowing is owing, and we have essentially the keys to our Bitcoin up here, or we have the security model to our Bitcoin up here, then what about when we have these, implants like Elon Musk is working on the neural lace or something? And if you are hacked, if your mind is hacked, basically, and the access to your memory is hacked, how are you going to secure your Bitcoin? I guess virus, more like antivirus for the mind is going to be expensive.
You don't have to buy Elon's interface, and you don't have to surgically put stuff in your brain. I mean, well, Neuralink, it's as cool as it is scary. Of course, I think it's mind-blowing stuff. But
literally,
like, if you can hack people's brains, there are other things to worry about before worrying about them taking your Bitcoin. And this is the same thing with quantum computing. Like, if the SHA-256 algorithm is somehow, the hashing algorithm is broken because of quantum computing, which is still a fantasy in any practical sense, then we have much larger problems than people stealing each other's Bitcoins. I can tell you that. And it's the same with Neuralink. Focus on the problem that is actually there, and it's your problem, and it's right there. If we're going to survive this Skynet type of dystopian future, we better arm ourselves, and there's only one weapon. And you know it. Yeah. Guns won't save you. Hand grenades won't save you. Once the Terminators start coming, and the drones that can pinpoint everyone that has liked Justin Bieber on Facebook and take them all out.
Oh, this rolls in nicely. Well, because what I liked about your book, I had the advantage, and I don't know if you ever get, you probably don't, and we rarely do. You rarely get a chance to go back and listen to old podcasts of what you did or what you said at that time. So it's interesting when you find something that you said at the beginning of the pandemic versus something even a year ago and how your thoughts changed. We're coming up now, a year in, and what I loved about your book was I know your first book was just your series of articles you sort of put together, but this one, and I think John Vallis tried to call it a stream of consciousness. I don't know if I call it that. What I think you were trying to do was take your own personal history, your view of the world and how it works, and how Bitcoin changes it, and you're trying to think out. One, you stated the problem beautifully of what the world is, how the banks control you. We're going to a point. There's a federal coins shortage. They're going to make every transaction, to me, be online, so they can at least force you to spend as soon as you get it. But the modern fascism now isn't Nazis burning books. It's these platforms like Twitter that literally just censor you. They just burn your account. You're done.
Yeah, and the whole thing with the censorship on Twitter, that's a weird thing, because I think these big internet giants, they started out as telecom companies or like a postal service, and they didn't they provided links to stuff and didn't mind the content. That was not their thing, which is why they were sort of immune to politics in the beginning, because that's how they were built up. They were platforms for free speech. Yeah. And now they aren't anymore, and we're losing that, and people are getting shadow banned. And the scariest thing about censorship is not like Donald Trump getting banned. The scariest things we never get to know about, because successful censorship is unknown. That's what censorship aims at, to not reveal itself but just happen. So we don't know how much censorship there is. So while I still think that Twitter is a good platform. I mean, they provide some value to me, definitely. But I've also joined Mastodon, and I have a Telegram channel. I'm using Signal more and more and stuff like that. And I like a bit of both now that the old systems seem to have been corrupted. And we have to remember why they became monopolies in the first place. And this also has to do with all the money printing and the artificially low interest rates they could get. And how that's why the stocks are valued so high when they don't really have that type of revenue or that type of income stream. But they're still like Spotify, for instance, has never had a profit, but they're valued high as fuck because they're in pole position. That's high, yeah, because they're in pole position when it comes to music streaming, and they all get these cheap loans, and that's how they get to the top. And that's a flaw in the system. And if that flaw wasn't there, and if we had a more fair competition between these companies, I think things would have played out very differently. Yeah, they became monopolies because of network effects. Of course, that had a part. That played a part too. But there are still other network effects. And if a free market really works, what would happen now when Twitter starts to censor things? If we had a perfect world, people would just ditch Twitter for something else, and all the network effect would be lost, and everyone would go over to whatever, Mastodon or. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. And but the state and these big oligarchies, they're intertwined in a very scary way. And we'll have to. Bitcoin is our only lifeline and our only lifeboat on the Titanic.
And you're absolutely right. And one of the things, I shared the interview earlier I won't even try to pronounce his last name, but Chamath is on there talking about these zombie corporations. You know,
his name is Chamath.
Oh, perfect. The Swedish accent does it.
Yeah.
So what I find interesting on that, a lot of people don't realize there's a difference between free market capitalism and crony capitalism. We are in the latter right now. And to see a reporter well, obviously he's on their side anyway, so knee deep in this and can't understand the concept of a guy that simply says, let it fail. What do you mean? And then they go to he goes to the argument, and hey, Peter McCormick tried to bring this up with you. What about this? What about that? Trying to corner you on certain things. Well, what at this? What about the screw them? Guess what? Someone else will come in, buy it for pennies on the dollar, and rebuild it. And he's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, the worst thing you can do to a society in the long run is to not punish people for let people not be punished for making bad decisions. I mean, a risk comes with a reward because it's a risk, and if you get the reward without the risk, you screw up the incentives of everything, and that's like
Amen.
I think that even the basic social security networks are dangerous things. We Scandinavians tend to think that they're all nice and dandy and all swell, but I think we're on a very dangerous path to letting the state take over everything. And this is why I hate the idea of UBI. I think it's the worst idea ever. Like that's a path to there's an obvious path to our self-destruction of the human race, because what you do there is you take away all the incentives to do anything productive at all. And so, somehow creative people and entrepreneurs will still be there and still do their thing. No, they won't. They will sit at home and play their fucking Xboxes. That's what they'll do. And there's no reason to do anything anymore. And a couple of years of that, and then everyone's dependent on the state, and then we're all on leashes. We're all shackled instead of on leashes.
Yeah, I'll go and jump in on that, because UBI to me is also tied in to a couple
Hi,
things.
Corey. Hi, Daniel. Hi, everyone.
A couple things I'm noticing here, based in the U.S. One, it's hilarious now. You're getting this coin shortage. Apparently, there's no more cash anymore, which is just a way to put everyone back. You have to go through your bank, who can control you. You have to make purchases that they can view.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we people don't know the extent of the pyramid scheme that is going on globally right now. They fail to realize how the difference between a million and a billion is roughly a billion, and the difference between a trillion and a billion is roughly a trillion, and there are trillions of dollars in debt. How do you even?
You can't. You can't. You can't.
No, you can't. The human mind is not made for that. And I have another favorite new expression, and that's the difference between a Bitcoin and whatever else is about the Bitcoin.
Yeah. Hey, my new favorite expression came from Michael Saylor himself in an interview. Go fuck yourself and tax that. No, but listen, that $15, here the big push is for $15 minimum wage. Of course, the corporations want that, because they're going to do what they're doing right now. You break every small business. The corporations, they're at that N0 money supply almost. They'll take that all day long, and they want that because they know when they get forced to do it, guess what? They've got automation in their back pocket.
Yeah. Where do they think the screens at McDonald's come from?
Yeah.
Why would they buy expensive touch screens for people to order food? I mean, in a free market, in a true free market economy, there's no such thing as unemployment. It's artificial. Unemployment is made up. There's always someone willing to pay for something that you do. If you're and it's up to the seller if he wants to do something for that price or not. And like, but we've been so brainwashed with this that we're above certain jobs. And like here in Sweden, you have, for instance, you have a lot of beggars outside of supermarkets, but then there are no people. Like in other countries, there are people packing groceries in the bags for their customers.
We call them
Why
Danish.
are they doing that? Why are they sitting outside doing nothing? I don't get it. Who benefits from it?
No one.
I guess minimum wage is kind of putting people in unemployment, because if they cannot add value at the level of the minimum wage, then there'll be no job for them. Knut,
think about how condescending that is. You're not above the value threshold, so therefore you can't make any money.
You're not, but here's the problem that they're realizing, and here comes the grand conspiracy from Pubby. Technology and automation is coming too quickly to have regular jobs for people. Guess what we have? A special vaccine for you. Get in line. 99.98 survivability rate for anyone under the age of 60. But here's your cure.
Yeah, that's a bit too tinfoil hatty even for me, I think.
So what do you? So
Knut, Alex Jones there.
Knut, I agree with this sentiment about the size of the state. What do you think is the optimal size of the state? Is it less state? Is it no state?
Yeah.
Because.
Are you ready for the answer?
Yeah,
Bring it.
Of course. I was
0. Nothing. Zip, zero, nada.
What was
there are only left-wing politics. All politics are left-wing politics. There's a 0 point, and all politics are to the left of that. And we'd be better off without it.
Hey, I had a question, and I forgot to even put this in my notes. A couple of your podcasts, you mentioned the 150 number, and I forget who that was that you cited.
Dunbar's number?
Yeah. Can you explain that?
Dunbar's number is like an approximation of how many people you can actually know at the same time, and that's why flocks of gibbons and chimpanzees and stuff don't ever exceed that number, because they can't keep track of each other. Then that's like the maximum size of a tribe. And I go on and on about this in Independence Reimagined, how humans have transcended that by inventing our collective hallucinations, or our intersubjective things like nations or religions or money, or these stories we tell ourselves that are actually bullshit at their cores, but they do coordinate us at scale, so that we can exceed Dunbar's number and coordinate ourselves and die for greater causes and all this bullshit. And there's a couple of psychopaths at top that can use this in order to be our puppet masters.
I had a note on this too, because that's one of my favorite quotes in the book, was basically our ability to lie to ourselves at scale is like our greatest weakness and greatest strength. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah. So I think you have the exact quote there. Our ability to lie to ourselves.
Memorize that one.
Yeah. I'm proud of that one.
It is
because
it's brilliant.
But while it has taken us to like marvelous places like the actual moon and stuff, civilization has come a long way. It has also stripped us of our independence, our personal sovereignty that we're supposed to be there at all stages. I mean, we're a right, a human right is it cannot be a right if it affects someone else. I mean, you're born with the right to do whatever the fuck you want. A government, all they can do is take away your rights. They can never give you a right. And this is a big like first principles starting point when thinking about how big a state should be and everything. Like, they remember that they can't give you anything that they haven't first taken away from someone else. And when they take it away, they screw up the incentives, and resources get misallocated because we can't talk to each other properly, because money is a part of our language. And when we can't talk to each other properly and the language is fucked up, then what they can give back is always less than what they take. So taxes can never be as efficient as a free market, because of this, because of all the incentives are screwed up and all the investments are misallocated.
Knut,
yeah, go ahead, Anders, go ahead.
Yeah,
I know the chat room wants you to talk.
Yeah, for like half an hour, they've been asking if I could just like interject like a few words. So I want to totally dumb it down now and leave this high level dialogue and ask you a question on a graph. Can I ask you a question on a graph, Knut?
Yeah.
So I'm sharing screen here.
She's hot.
Yeah, she is definitely hot. So
wow.
this is Puppy. Let me talk. No. So this is I don't know if you're familiar with this. Plan B, he tweets it out every now and then that it's the development of the price of Bitcoin post the halving. The dark blue is the first halving, the light blue is the second halving, and the red is after the current halving that happened 11th of May last year. And they are plotted in where the price of Bitcoin is on the left axis, so we can kind of see, all right, depending on how this bull run post halving develops, where would the price be?
Yeah, and I guess you want me to see a pattern in this?
No, not necessarily. I just want to, I mean, yes, please, anything you want to say, I would love to hear it in this graph. But also, what is your expectations on this bull run? How will that red line develop? Will it stay between the two? Will it go below the?
Okay, I'm coming to this from a totally different angle, because to me, if I see if I go to the grocery store and see the price of a bottle of milk, I don't see that as the actual price of the bottle of milk. I see that as historical data of what the similar, but not the same, but a similar bottle of milk has been sold for at some point in time earlier on. But it's not the actual price of the milk. The actual price of the milk is what I pay when I come to the counter, and I can still choose not to buy it. And if enough people choose not to buy milk that day, then the price of milk will go down. Prices are nothing but historical data, and the same obviously goes for price charts. They are historical data, and
True.
there's a plethora of pseudoscience surrounding this, with people thinking that they've figured it out and that they can analyze these things and like do trade analysis, and they think they're impervious to failure once they've figured it out. But they're not. Sooner or later, even the successful traders, they're just lucky, and you can be lucky for a long time, but there might come a time where something unexpected happens and you're screwed. Like investing and dealing with the risk in that way. Well, it's not for me. I'm not a trader, and I will never try to be a trader, because I think there are too many factors weighing in on why the price of an asset goes up or down. So I try to approach it instead from where is it going, and why is it going where it's going, and what is the theoretical top, and what is the theoretical bottom of this. And I don't think there's a theoretical bottom below a certain amount that we don't know yet, but we know that there's some sort of floor somewhere, because well, I have a floor. For instance, I would buy all the Bitcoins if they went down to a certain amount. And there are many like me, the hodlers of last resort. We manage the floor, the price floors, but to the upside, there's no end point. As I've been saying before, with the J-shaped adoption curve and not the S-shaped adoption curve, there's literally anywhere that this could go, and there could be like a big crash because like Michael Saylor loses faith in it, and then everyone else, someone tweets something, and everything goes bonkers, and we're stuck in like a $150 Bitcoin for 10 years, and then it takes off again. But I don't think that will happen either. But like I said, I'm extremely bullish because I don't really see that people getting more and more people are getting more and more educated about this thing, and more and more people are actually getting what's happening. It's hard to wrap your head around, but people are wrapping their heads around it. Even though it requires a lot of imagination, because it requires you to rethink everything. It will change society in ways that society have never been changed before. And are you really ready for hyper Bitcoinization? Well, if Bitcoin 100x's from here in the next month, are you ready for that?
I am.
Have you got your shit together? I mean. This is so weird, and it could go wherever. I do find the Plan B's what's it called, the
stock to flow S2FX,
the stock to flow thing there. Yeah, sure. It makes for a nice pattern, and people seem to like follow it. The buyers seem to follow. Shouldn't buyers like see where it's going and buy even more than what the plot thinks? I don't know. I don't deal with this trade analysis things. I think they're predicting the future is
okay. So
let me. I got to jump in on this one because I don't know Plan B at all. I will say he offered up to the community an interesting prospect here, a model. A model, by the way, which he basically published at one of the all-time lows, coming off buying the top at $17,000. And just so everyone in the chat knows, I started in December 2017, wrote it all the way down. No, but what I think is fantastic is he put it out for free. It's a model. The model is still it's still viable. It's still viable. I think that's fantastic. I don't think anyone should ever buy just based off a model. Look, just buy, like you say, buy and hold, buy your Bitcoin. But I think for him to come out and put himself on the line for free, look, it's still here. It's still here almost 2 years later, man.
I mean, he got a lot of attention from it. I mean, I'm sure it's benefited him, and he's a really nice guy, by the way. And I like the interviews I hear with him. I think he's got a reasonable reasoning for being so unreasonable, because it's all when you deep dive into Mises and Austrian economics, you tend to see these things in different ways. There's no like you can't do maths with human action. That's not how. And that's why I think it's so sad that praxeology, which is the science of the human action, wasn't ever taught in schools, because it's the big missing piece of the puzzle. It's like the black hole in all our education system, because that's when the world starts to make sense. I mean, I was quite good at mathematics, and I was quite good at physics, and quite good at some other subjects too. I sucked at some, but
that's what she said.
Anders, nice.
But I always felt that there was a big piece of the puzzle missing, and praxeology is it. It perfectly explains why you can't mix it with mathematics. Why mathematics play no role at all in understanding why people do stuff.
Okay,
so
and
I'm talking too much, am I not?
No. You're the guest. You're the guest, Knut. Don't worry. Pubby and I, we have solo shows where we get to say as much as we want. So we are here to listen to you and learn from you. I just want to make sure that you're saying you don't have any specific expectations to the bull run that we're in. How far Bitcoin can go up, measured in dollars for this year.
Okay, a couple of predictions. One of these bull runs is the hyper Bitcoinization bull run.
Shit! Here we go.
That doesn't end.
It's going right now.
It might be this one. It might be the next one. We might be 20 bull runs away from hyper Bitcoinization, and like 60 years away from it. We don't know that.
How do you?
We don't know it, but what's your expectations?
Yes.
Well, I think we should behave as if this was the hyper Bitcoinization bull run, because why not? We should prepare for the best case scenario, not the worst case scenario, but prepare for the best case scenario. Because imagine how tough you would be on yourself, like being one of those guys that lost 5,000 bitcoins on a hard drive on a pile of garbage somewhere. I mean.
Yes, listen. Usually we care about 3 or 4 viewers at a time. So we had a strategy to wait for price predictions until at least over an hour into the show. Thank God we reached that point. Maybe we'll get we said it was a strategy. We would say we'll get up to 4 viewers.
Yeah.
Hey, your view in 2020.
We don't have a strategy. What the hell are you talking about, man?
I read the book, man.
You got a micro strategy.
And the book is for Greg Zaj. I got the book for you, my friend.
Yeah, and Pubby, have you got this right? I've written 3 books. This is my second book.
I'm waiting for the autographed copy to arrive in the mail. Yeah. So So 2021. Let's go there.
Yeah, it's a magic year.
By Christmas, what do you think?
The thing is, as Jeff Booth says too, like if we're in an exponential thing with regards to technological development, and like more things will happen during the next year or the next 18 months than what happened all of the years before that. So I'm incredibly excited for 2021 and a bit scared of it, because I mean, I was excited for 2022, but that turned out to be, well, in a way, 2020 was the greatest year ever for Bitcoin. It was. We tend to forget that with all the other shit going on everywhere. But it actually was the best year for Bitcoin.
So let's get down to brass tacks. Numbers. We want numbers. The chat room.
Numbers.
Go ahead.
Let me say it like this. I'm sounding like more and more like a politician here. I realize that, but I'm trying to avoid numbers. But what will the value of $1 be on New Year's Eve 2020 2021?
Okay, then I'll jump in on that one, because I never knew is there a term for that crossover point? When is that crossover point when it's not Bitcoin isn't valued in dollars and the rest of the world is valued in Bitcoin?
That's another thing I talk about in the book. I believe that there's an always up point at some point in the future. It might be far off, but at some point when the issuance rate of Bitcoin is so low and that enough people are reluctant to sell at all, that the price can only go one way, and that is up. So there's a point in time where you can't ever buy Bitcoin for a lower price again.
Yeah.
It's hard to wrap these things around your head. But the thing I want to say about the price prediction, that's like, we should act as if this is the last bull run, and we should act as if we're in this part of hyper Bitcoinization. This might be it. You look at the first 10 years; it's sort of like this, and
it's gone.
Knut, I have a question for you from the chat. It was posted about 15 minutes ago, but Pubby didn't give me a chance to speak. But have you been blocked by Plan B yet? Because it's you know, it's if you ask questions or if you're critical.
Wow.
I've heard.
No, 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 I haven't been, but I think he likes me. I haven't heard anything negative. I don't think I'm blocked by him.
Okay, no, it was a question from the chat.
All right.
That's all. Well, neither am I, and neither Pubby, I believe. But we have Corey in the chat.
No, I tend to get blocked by shitcoiners mostly.
Same here.
Yeah. Oh. So hey, I had a question. Your thoughts on the currency wars? How does this unfold? Because
well, I know the winner.
That's well, not that you know the winner. Who's the first one that's going to dive into this? Because guess what? The currency wars are coming. Who hasn't been pressured by our own government to not mine Bitcoin? Yeah, because the currency wars are coming. Go ahead.
Yeah, the minute governments start to mine Bitcoin, and the minute governments start to buy up Bitcoin, that's also the end of government.
Yeah,
because someone has to hold the keys. As
Yeah.
I said, yeah, you can. That's the end. That's the beginning of the end for nation states.
Yeah.
Because a nation is not a real thing. It's just a collective hallucination. And Bitcoin is real. It's realer than everything else. Because it has no leaders and no psychopaths on top telling other people what to do. It's based on math and praxeology, and it's the first time in history that those two grand subjects have been connected. And this is why I'm so reluctant to name a figure price, a price figure at some point in the future, because I think it's pointless. To me, they're worth a lot more. Always.
Aside from the prices, do you think there are? Let's look at the big five, or the big, from the U.S., China, Russia, all these countries. Do you think they're putting pressure on other countries not to adopt Bitcoin as their standard?
I think governments are still quite a long way away from adopting Bitcoin, because I think they're the last ones to get the point.
Yeah.
Because it goes against their entire narrative. If you can't think outside of that box, you're probably going to be late to this game. The corporations come before the nation states, definitely.
Yeah.
And we've just started there. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with the nation states and the central banks. But I'm looking forward to seeing them fuck it up, because they will.
I guess all of a sudden the people holding private keys in the government become the government and the new mafia. It's a mafia within the mafia. But Knut, you're saying that you don't really care about the price of Bitcoin because it's worth a lot more than the price.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm being Jordan Peterson here in my response, but I'm not saying that at all.
How to trigger a tweet.
I care about the Bitcoin price. Of course I do. That's the main reason I'm in this, and the main reason that everyone else is in it. The NGU technology, the price is going up. It means my purchasing power is going up. That's all I care about.
Yeah. And okay, great. So we agree on that.
That's and keeping them in your head.
I mean, so to me, honestly, the time between now and the purchasing power I have currently with a Bitcoin price of 33,700 and infinity divided by 21 million, which I guess is infinity. Then
it's a stupid equation, but it's a good thing.
Yeah. That's all right. That's right. So, but the path towards, let's say, hyper Bitcoinization, that Bitcoin takes over money of the world, I think it's interesting. For that reason, to me, the price of Bitcoin measured in dollars is basically measuring how far we are in disruption. That's why I think it's interesting. Where will Bitcoin go this year? Will it go to 200,000? Will it go to 300,000? What's going to happen next year? What's going to happen, next halving cycle when we have supply side shock?
Yeah, well, there are 40 people listening to us right now.
Mind blowing.
There's
Absolutely mind
another
blowing.
6.9999999 billion people to go before they get to hear this. So we still have a long way to go, but but I don't know. Once the game theory starts, once the real money starts to get it and starts to try to get out of, yeah, the things Jeff Booth talk about make a lot of sense to me. Like why the wealthy people of failing nations stay in that nation, because uh, they're the last ones to fail. I mean, when hyperinflation hits a country, they think that they're better off because they are in relation to everyone else in the country, but maybe not in terms of what they could have been somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay. Aside from your world famous gate crashing, how about you and Jeff Booth? I'll send you and Jeff Booth on a show with us, man. Would be fantastic.
Yeah, I'd love to do a show with Jeff Booth someday.
Yeah.
I've been on to some other podcasters about that, but I think he'd like that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And his mom, a shout out to Sheila Booth.
Yeah.
If anyone would have the best mom in the world, it would be Sheila Booth. She raised a good kid. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, so does Knut's mom, right?
Yeah, my mom is excellent.
Of course. Of course.
She's alive and kicking. She wants some Bitcoin, but
So my mother still is nervous about this whole Bitcoin thing. Finally, last year I convinced her she should get some, and the only way I trust her to hold some would be GBDC. And she goes to the bank and says she wanted to buy some GBDC, and the bank Nordea says we don't allow any we don't allow any purchase of anything related to anything to do with Bitcoin. So she didn't get Bitcoin back when it was 12, 15,000. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to. I mean, she's all right, but it's annoying, the bank.
If that isn't the first thing to tell you that Bitcoin is real, when you get banks and mainstream businesses that try to cut you off, guess what?
Yeah.
They're scared.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing when people talk about, oh, they're going to stop it, they're going to ban it, and they're going to do this. Well, that will make the price go up. If they're harder to get your hands on, that makes the price go up, not down. So resistance is futile for everyone.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just want to say that. Let me see if I can pronounce your name the way I think it should be pronounced. Jose S. Bam. Pardon me if I get it wrong. But as he says, thank you for that. He likes it. Some podcasts take themselves way too seriously. The problem is we don't take ourselves serious at all. That is why this is the official shit show of Bitcoin on YouTube.
Now you have an excellent show, guys. I'm so glad to be here. I like this. When it's relaxed, that's the best thing. If it's too prestigious or it's up its own ass, then it's much harder to get your thoughts out there. It's easier to find the words if you're relaxed. So keep on drinking.
Thank you. Yeah, and we will. And on that note, I need to go get a beer. But before I do, I just want to say that one thing that I really like is Jeff Booth told me that his mother, who came on and watched the show, she was in the chat when Jeff Booth was on, said that it's like the first time she saw her son actually being himself and come out as his personality on a show. And I really, I enjoyed that.
That must have touched you guys.
Yeah, totally.
That's a sweet thing.
Can't ask for more.
So
Pubby,
go
get. I'll get my beer. You take over. Let's be professional here. Let's coordinate.
Oh, go. No, I'll jump in on this one. I I heard you talk about once about sort of the collective nature of humans, which is true, man. We're collective in how you come together, and we become like one society, one world.
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting is if you go back to even we'll go to Genesis chapter 11, the Judeo Christian Bible was such the Tower of Babylon. And that's the first thing I thought about, because it was the people in the world will come together to build something. They will build something to find their way to heaven on their own. It's total shit, of course, usually. And that's what fiat is to me. So the Tower of Babylon story to me was this fiat currency to go up there, and God just wipes them aside. You'll take your languages, you'll take everything else, and you'll go back to your land. So what do you think of that analogy?
I never got to that part in the Bible. I got bored with it.
Oh Jesus! Here we go.
Don't get me started about Christianity and how overrated it is.
I'm not going to that point more than the Tower of Babel is just a marker, a lesson for the world.
Yeah, I believe there might be some good to the validity of the stories in the Bible. I'm sure there are plenty of good stories in there. I'm sure there are plenty more really fucking bad stories that are nonsensical and just like the Old Testament is basically just evil and vile. So and there are many other stories to derive value from. I mean, I could derive value from a cookbook if I wanted to, and I could derive value from a Spider-Man comic or whatever. With great powers come great responsibility. That's as good as anything in the Bible to me. But I'm unfamiliar with the Tower of Babel story. I haven't read up on the Bible enough. I know some parts of it, but not that part.
So while we give that some thought, I want to say cheers to the guys in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us, and cheers to you guys. How are you doing on your beer, Knut? I haven't really seen you drinking from that the last hour.
I'll have to fetch another one. Give me a minute.
You do. You're Swedish. You can't sit there with an empty beer. Cheers to you, Pubby.
We're here, baby. Bringing the heat. It's amazing that we still have this many viewers. Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing that we have any viewers, Puppy. It still blows my mind. But thanks, guy. What else? So we have Yorkies and new guys, a new viewer. Wait, and we have. Wait, let me get. Sometimes it's really hard to I want to click on a specific chat and bring it up, but then the chat moves and I get the next one, and it could be absolutely terrible. Cheers, Bitcoin Comics. Cheers to all of you out there.
Yep.
Greggy says, if I can hit it. Greggy says, cheers. Plan Marcus says, cheers. Tony Hoddle says, cheers. Silent Lamb says, poof. Not sure what that's supposed to mean, but anyways.
Yeah. No,
I think Knut's fridge is extremely far away from his computer, and it worries me. He's probably one of those really rich Swedes that live in a huge mansion, and he's got to go like three floors away to reach the kitchen. You should have someone deliver the beer. Like Daniel Prince, he has his beer delivered by Lauren, his daughter. How is that?
Yeah, and that's a shame to have Lauren. He's got his can. To have Lauren, who is the life of the show on the Once Bitten podcast, to have her deliver the beer is just a slap in the face. She should be running the show, and he should be bringing the chocolate milk to her.
I agree. Yeah. But it's no good saying it now, because I'm sure Daniel only spent 5 minutes with us early on. He's quite busy. Yeah. He's got a lot of important things to do in his life. So he's definitely, he moved on preparing for his podcast or something.
I'm doing pods with him soon.
Oh,
two of them, I think.
So, hey, here's a question for you, Knut. and I've seen this analogy, rightful or not, being bantered about when it comes to Bitcoin. Okay, well, yeah, this is Bitcoin. They consider Bitcoin as MySpace, and guess what? The next one's coming along.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
It is, but I would like you to break it down. I mean, we touched upon it a bit earlier. Bitcoin versus whatever else can come next. Can you break down why it just can't happen?
There you are, Daniel.
Yeah, he's listening while we give him shit on air.
No, but the breakdown, like, how is that analogy so just outside the realm of possibility?
Yeah, let's get back to Christopher Columbus. Imagine the Panama Canal already being dredged out when he reached America, and he thought, "Oh, what a lovely continent or two there is over here," and oh, here's a canal. I guess I'll get sail through that, and I'll sail on across the Pacific, and I'll discover another America somewhere over there. But there isn't another America on the other side of the Pacific, so that would be futile. And it's the same thing with Bitcoin. Like we said before, it can only be discovered once. So the MySpace analogy, that makes no sense to me, because Bitcoin is not a company, and it's not it's a protocol, and it's first and foremost, it's a new concept in computer networking. I mean, I wrote an article about my Commodore 64, a little love letter to that.
Yeah.
Like the first time I wrote my first basic program with like 10 print high and 20 go to 10, and it started printing high over and over again across the screen. And I thought it was the most amazing thing, because the more I got to learn about computers, it's like, this means that everything can be copied. Everything in that involves data can be copied, and the more you get to learn, and the more the computers evolved into what they are now, and the internet and everything. That's like, when the internet came along, you saw something like, this is going to change the world. But I was a teenager, so I didn't do anything about it, and I didn't get involved enough, because you didn't really know that you needed to do stuff in life. You thought that life would just like sort of happen by itself, and you didn't realize that you had put some effort into stuff. And this is the way I feel now that Bitcoin is around, and like, it's the first time that you can't copy something on a computer, which is unheard of. And that's why I feel like this is like, when I sort of had a feeling that the internet was going to become a lot bigger than people believed it would be, and I have that same feeling now, like times 10. But this time around, I'm getting myself front row seat.
So, and I want to go back to this, because it was such a huge part of the book to me. Discovery versus invention. Did Satoshi Nakamoto discover this or invent this answer to the double spend problem? Because to me, that's the crux of it.
Yeah, it is. And like I've said so many times before, you can only discover it once. And MySpace, there was nothing discovered there. MySpace was like nothing. There was like GeoCities before that, right? Where you could have your own website. You remember GeoCities?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I haven't. That was like 25 years ago or something. I remember GeoCities. I just want to comment here on the conversation. I just grabbed the word quickly before Pubby actually once again took it, and that is that. So actually,
Cheers, Pubby.
You got it, man.
So Michael Saylor commented on this early on when he entered Bitcoin, this MySpace comparison, and he said, "Look, MySpace was never worth more than 2-3 billion. You can compare that to, Bitcoin is worth at that time like 250 billion." He says any any network that has ever reached 100 billion in value has reached that critical mass that it obliterates anything and becomes a natural monopoly. Greggy is absolutely right on one thing. He said that Bitcoin is a network, it's a money network, but he's wrong about the evaluation. I believe that MySpace was 2-3 billion. So Bitcoin already at that stage having 100 times more valuation than MySpace at the top is you can't compare.
I have an analogy. Imagine in 1996 or 1995, someone and you're in a discussion with someone about the internet that is just beginning to take off, and someone says, "But what if this internet thing is like Super 8? I mean, VHS took over." And Super 8 lost. Super 8 film lost, and the VHS tapes took over.
Yeah.
Like it's comparing apples and oranges, or like comparing. The comparison is so wrong on so many levels, because first and foremost, like it's comparing the internet to a video rental service, or a fax machine corporation, or a company, or like even worse than that. Like this is, I don't get that at all, because this is truly mind bending and a true milestone in human history, and a discovery of such a magnitude that we're simply unable to wrap our heads around it. And you're comparing it to MySpace? What the hell? That's like that's like comparing the discovery of the wheel, or the printing press is so much less of an innovation than Bitcoin.
I agree.
Light bulb is a lesser invention. Like, I mean, everything. Like, okay, the internet. I get that. That's quite a good comparison. But I think this is bigger than the internet.
Absolutely.
Because that's the comparison you have to make. It will change everything. Every person, everything, every mechanic in society turns it on its head.
So let's. Can you talk about some of the layers that will be built upon the greatest thing since the internet? What are the layers? Because you'll get things like Monero, privacy layers. People have these different arguments. Looking forward, what can be built?
Monero is a shitcoin, and it has nothing to do with Bitcoin.
Yes, of course. My point is, what are the next layers coming up? What are the layers coming up on Bitcoin that people don't realize?
Well, the Lightning Network, while being flawed, is still such an amazing invention, and it gets way too little attention. Do you have Lightning wallets? I mean, they work flawlessly.
No.
They're like the best thing ever.
Because that would mean I have to spend my Bitcoin. No, I don't have any Lightning.
You can use Lightning Network wallet to buy Bitcoin.
Why you should get a Lightning wallet now rather than later, and preferably you're running your own Lightning node and everything. But
there's a Lightning node now? Jesus, man!
Why you should do that now rather than later? Is because the fees of the base layer will go up, and they might go up a lot in a short time. If this is the hyper Bitcoinization cycle, fees will go up like crazy. There's no way around that, and they will go up anyway because of the halving cycles and the incentive structure of the whole thing. So the earlier you get yourself a Lightning node, or just a Lightning wallet, whatever, the better. Because the sooner you can put some of your Bitcoin in that, the sooner you'll have an actual spending account that you'll actually could spend some, like, because spending Bitcoin is stupid, but spending Bitcoin and paying a hell of a fee is even more stupid. So put some in your Lightning wallet. Put like maybe 5% at maximum. No, not 5%. Like 0.5% of your Bitcoin, if you have any. I heard you were in a boating accident, both of you. But anyway,
no.
Put some
I grew up sailing, and it bit me in the back. What do you say? Yeah, I went sailing in Newport Beach the other day, and a couple of weekends ago. Absolute disaster.
Hey, listen, my next yacht is going to be called the SS Coinbase. When it's on there, you'll never get it off. You're safe.
Yeah. So when Pubby, when Bitcoin has taken over as money of the world, and you don't have dollars to spend at the supermarket because they will not accept anything but the only money that there is, how are you going to pay at the supermarket when you don't want to spend your Bitcoin? It's the only money to spend. What are you going to do?
I think there will be. Yeah. There's a question for Pubby. He should answer it.
Yeah. Well, what am I going to do? There's bigger problems to have. There's bigger problems at that point. Are you kidding me? How far we are along the line? When it gets to a point where a supermarket can accept Bitcoin and no one has it, no, there's a strange way of you describing this answer. It's not right.
The supermarket might be a subscription service by then.
Perhaps.
So, yeah, you still need to pay it though, right? But anyways,
but don't forget that with Lightning and with zero fees and infinite divisibility, you can stream money like you stream video or stream anything else. You can have an actual cash flow, a real flow, a current, and you can. This is also mind blowing because right now when we had electrics, we had circuits, analog circuits with like electrons going from A to B and powering up light bulbs. But then we invented electronics, which is logical circuits, if circuits, then circuits, go-to circuits, and stuff like that. And we could all of a sudden invent calculators and digital watches and stuff like that, and then the computer revolution comes along. Now we're at the third stage where we have value circuits, and that's no one talks about this, but this is also a crazy new thought and a crazy new ballpark when we can actually build circuits out of sending not electrons but value through circuit boards, and that do different stuff. I mean, and for that we need real money, aka no shit coins at all allowed. No shit coins allowed. So no altcoins or no fiat, nothing like that. But actual Bitcoin, the only money that actually is real, and we need it streamable so that it can flow through circuits, and we have that with the Lightning Network. I mean, you've seen that website where you can feed chickens by sending microtransactions, right?
Heard about it.
Press a button and send the Satoshi, and the one corn pebble per Satoshi feeds the chickens.
Then break this down for us, man. Jack Mahler, want to have on the show, and in the strike angle. What do you think? Is that
awesome? I love a. Don't get me wrong, but I love young guys in hoodies changing the world.
Oh, yeah! Here comes the chat room.
So, since you guys bring it up, I agree, Knut, that Lightning Network is something we should all be experimenting with, because embracing it. And one way you can buy Bitcoin without any fees is if you use Strike, which I don't understand, because like 2-3 weeks ago when Jack Moles came out, he said it would like be global within a few days. But everyone I speak to outside of US, they can download Strike and use it. But if you have Strike, at least in the US, you can take money directly from your bank account or your debit card. Then you can basically send sats instantly from Strike, where you buy it with whatever, with the dollar that you have on the app, and send it as sats to, for instance, Blue Wallet that was brought up earlier in the chat, which is one Lightning Network wallet. Blue Wallet has
Blue Wallet is so good.
Right. And so you can actually buy Bitcoin without paying a fee. You just, you can go buy every day. You can buy 5 cents worth of Bitcoin without a fee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So why do you think I hear a lot of people mentioning Blue Wallet as a good Lightning Network wallet? What do you like about it? Why do you say it's good?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's a mobile wallet, so don't put all eggs in that basket. But it's just such a simple interface, and it's very easy to use, and you can create an on-chain wallet and a Lightning wallet, and you have like your savings and your checkings account basically. And it's just, I just like it because it's clean and easy to use, and it's open sourced, and it's my wallet of choice.
So yeah, open source, easy to use, Pubby.
Yeah. No, yeah, open source. Yeah, open source is great. The next generation coming in right now. Look, like Anders mentioned earlier. Guess what? You get Marathon, whether they're a corporation coming in, $150 million. That's one thing. To me, the future has to be how do you bring in everyone else? And it's great that everyone can say, "Oh yeah, just bring in these noobs. Let them come in here." The UX to me is shit right now. They want a way to secure their Bitcoin, and to me that's the worst part of our community right now is how you secure it. How do you see that future going?
There will always be a trade-off.
Yeah.
Between convenience and security, and I'd like to quote Benjamin Franklin.
we like them.
Any society that would give up a little liberty to gain a little security will deserve neither and lose both.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the thing. There are no shortcuts to self-sovereignty. If you want to be a true sovereign individual, and I'm not, by the way, but not by a long shot, not yet. But if you want to be, there are no shortcuts. I mean, you have to do your homework.
Yeah.
That's just the hard truth, because that's the point. If you want to really be sure that I mean, you always have to trust some third party to some extent. There's a hardware manufacturer. There's like people writing code. I guess you can learn that and you can verify it for yourself. All the Bitcoin code is open source, and you can read it for yourself, and you can see what it actually does. You can learn these things. It's not impossible. It's hard, but it's not impossible. And if you want to be truly self-sovereign, you should use as much open source, both hardware and software, as possible. And you should definitely run your own node and do your homework. Study more of this stuff. But that's the thing. Bitcoin, there are a lot of services for those who only want to be semi self-sovereign. Because you don't have to move to a cabin in the forest and buy a shotgun and run your own node from there and grow your own.
Sounds good.
I mean, you can get a pretty good. That's like, you can also turn off your TV and never turn it on again, which I did like 25 years ago, and never got my news from any mainstream news news source. That's a small step towards self-sovereignty. And the thing is, this is not binary. This is a process. You can leave the old system in stages. You don't have to do it all at once. And you can have Bitcoin on an exchange. You can have them on your mobile phone, and you can run your own node, and you can have a bunch of different hardware wallets all at the same time. You don't have to pick and choose between only one of them, only one of the solutions. So I suggest, and I believe the biggest threat that people face with losing their Bitcoin is not the Russian mafia trying to rob you of them, or it's not the state trying to steal them, and it's not your bank banning them or whatever. It's yourself and your risk at being in an actual boating accident, or losing the key somehow, or not knowing what you're doing. That's the biggest threat to your Bitcoin is yourself. So that's what you have to work on, and that's the easiest part to work on. The other things, like someone taking them from you, there's not much you can do about that. But securing them for yourself, you can actually learn something about that, and you can read up and be better.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Like you say, from the 2% what you just described into the 5%. When we're talking hyper Bitcoinization, I have a feeling that the other 80%, they're sheeps, the sheeple as we call them, and they're just going to want the easiest thing. Oh, yeah, whatever. Give me Bitcoin. Just give me the easiest interface. I want the easiest interface to move forward.
Yeah, and they will learn the hard way, and this is the beauty of it. It teaches people to be responsible the hard way, because if you're not, you're fucked. That's it. There's no customer support line. There's nothing like that. You'll just have to do your homework and make your own mistakes.
So I had a question about your book.
Be better. Yeah, exactly.
I had a question about your book, and it wasn't about the content more than, well, the artwork you've talked about. No, check this out, man. Angry Knut, man. Angry Knut. What's he doing there?
Swede Toshi, who is not actually a Swede, but a great guy. It makes memes out of Bitcoiners. You know him, of course.
Yes, but do you see what's going on here?
Dude,
no, do you see what's going on here?
Knut, Greggy? Yeah. Oh, wait, Pubby is talking, sorry.
So, listen, we've got Angry Knut here getting ready to throw a bomb. And you know what's funny?
Lightning in a bottle. That's lightning in a bottle, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. That's the GIF. It's not a GIF, it's a GIF.
Is it? Oh, GIF or GIF? Please or pleb?
Thing. It's a GIF. It's not a GIF. It's a GIF.
You got it.
But you've detected the sovereignty through mathematics thing about this thing.
Yeah, we see that. So
more information about this mesmerizing sculpture is coming soon. By the way.
But here's my question, or what it made me realize. I found a book. I went through the archives. I said, I've seen this photo before. You may not even know it, but that is literally from the riots of Paris in 1968.
No way.
Oh, is there? Oh,
is that the guy?
Oh, yeah. Guess what? Pretty close. Guess where he got the idea from? Pubby doesn't play, man. Yes. Pubby doesn't play, man. I do my research. Yep.
Let it be known. Pubby doesn't play.
So I will tell you.
What book is that from?
Well, I can't tell you that. No, this one's actually called Culture Jam. Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Live, but I'll tell you what, man. I will tell you what. At the time, that actual throw was there was like a I don't know, it was a gas grenade or a canister thrown his way, but that was a protester that took it and threw it back as a sign of anti-establishment. And that's what I thought you were going for there. Obviously not.
No, I just got this meme, and it was lightning in a bottle, and I thought that, well,
No,
I wrote
now
a
you know.
bunch of stuff on the first book, the back of the first book, and then like, why? When I have this great artwork, why would I bother?
Now, hey, now you know where it came from.
Thank you.
Yep, the 1968 Paris riots. You are a game changer, my friend.
Oh, excellent.
You guys know where the Molotov cocktail comes from?
A guy called Molotov, probably a Russian.
Yeah, so it was Finland. I don't remember the years, and I may make a couple of mistakes in this story. So correct me. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. Just know that I may not be 100% right. But at one stage, Finland was. I think it was the beginning of last century. Could be between the First and the Second World War, something. But Finland was invaded by Russia, which had way superior, obviously, numbers on their side, their army, they had tanks and everything. And Finland, there goes Puppy. I didn't move Puppy from the stream, but there goes Puppy. I guess he didn't want to hear the story. There's no toxic happy hour without a Puppy exit scam. It's got to happen sooner or later, Knut. But the way they fought back the Finnish was there is a peninsula where they were fighting the Russians, and I think that might be an area or a peninsula that was called Molotov. Probably this is where I start making mistakes in the story. But they created these bottles with a simple weapon, affordable weapon, bottles with flammable content. They probably had some strong vodka up there in Finland. You know about that as sweet. You're halfway there from Denmark, and threw these at the Russian tanks, and this way they kept back the advance. I believe it's the Molotov song. I got to read up on it now. I'm just like telling stories out of nowhere here, but it's something along those lines. It came from the Finnish defending their country successfully against the Russian invading army.
Anders, you know that people might be Googling this stuff while you're telling the story, right?
So we'll get it right. I throw it out there, and then we'll actually get the true version for the next episode of Toxic Happy Hour.
No.
So, but what's your plans in the near future, Knut? Any more content coming our way?
I have a bunch of articles coming. Or not a bunch, but a couple. I'm doing a bunch of interviews, some pods with me and some other mystery guests, and planning on doing more stuff. I hope to do more videos with Joni Appelberg and other people for that matter. I'm sort of this year's New Year's resolution is to get into something that I haven't done before, like doing new creative stuff. I love this community, and I love all the collaborations, and I love all the new ideas that come, and the memeing, and I guess writing is sort of where I ended up. But that was also unintentional, so I might as well try my luck with whatever idea pops into my head. Welcome back.
What happened, Puppy? I'm glad you're back because it gives me an opportunity to reset the node here. I can't be that node cannot be offline for too long. I got to reset the node and also catch another Modelo. The big question right here that I am asking myself is, if I'm gone for about 60 to 100 seconds, will Puppy be here when I'm back? That's the question. But Puppy, so Knut was just talking about. I asked him about what his plans are in the near future, and he liked what. Yeah. So there you go. I think he's planning to ride more. He likes riding. There you have it.
No, that's a great question, because I know with Jeff Booth I think Jeff Booth is under the mindset of never again. But it depends on what you want to write about or what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
So I think you go through this funnel, of all these wild ideas about Bitcoin, narrow it down. The last one, I think you really hammer down on the social side of what Bitcoin fixes. So what's your focus now?
Yeah, I don't. I've never really had a focus. Well, I can focus for short bursts of time and focus my energy. That's what I like the most about writing, when I'm sort of in the green zone and it just happens.
Yeah.
And it feels like, to me, creativity is a fascinating subject, and where creativity comes from. And I've been talking about this on other pods also, but Benny Andersson from ABBA described it as, you just have to sit by the piano and catch a song that's already in the room that happens to be there while you're sitting at the piano, and then you can catch it. So it's sort of like catching fish, being creative.
Well, he was an ugly man, so of course, him hitting on a beautiful woman is, take a chance on me, take a chance on me. I mean, I don't know how creative that is, but I understand where he's coming from. He didn't have many options back then.
I think all creativity is like that. John Cleese is writing a book on creativity. It's coming out soon, and I'm really looking forward to that. John Cleese is one of my favorite people in the entire universe, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant, of course. From the Monty Python skits, obviously.
To everything. I mean, he's still spot on, and he's still not afraid of speaking his mind, and I like that a lot.
What I found fantastic coming into the Bitcoin space was, sometimes you don't realize you're creative, or you can make something yourself. So when I come out and I do a meme, I would never have done that a year ago, 2 years ago.
No.
no, never. I mean, honestly, you don't. Sometimes there's so much creativity in the world that has yet to be unleashed.
Yeah, and like Bitcoin is a good trigger, because I believe in order to get creativity really going, you need to frame it around something. You have to set up boundaries for yourself. Because I remember I did a lot of music before, and I had one band where we built a studio, and this was in the beginning when you could get pirated software for all the plugins for Cubase, like 50 different synthesizers with 200 different sounds in each one of them, and like reverb plugins, like 30 different reverb plugins for the hi-hat or something, and you started overproducing stuff and overthinking everything, and the energy gets lost along the way if it takes too much time, and if you lose the flow of inspiration.
Yeah. I guess I didn't want to hear the story. What was that?
That was YouTube again, I think.
So Puppy is I guess is running a couple of channels here. He's multitasking.
Got it.
But what did I miss? Did Puppy sing? Knut, did Puppy sing while I was gone? If yes, how did it go?
I don't know.
Listen, he brought something about ABBA, and he was talking about what it's like being creative. And I forget who gentleman was in charge of ABBA, and he goes, I said, sometimes it's what you see around you. So when you have the ugly guy in ABBA with hot chicks, you say, oh, hey, take a chance on me. Because look, that guy wasn't going to get laid.
Money.
Yeah,
ain't it funny?
And don't forget, and he wrote "The Winner Takes It All" around the time he divorced.
Over here, winner takes it all, man.
Obviously. So, what else? What else is new?
Did you hear my "Fuck You Money" song?
No, let's hear it.
Well, I recorded it. It's on Twitter somewhere.
Ah.
I'll tell you what. Have you guys heard the one by BTC Minstrel? That one is hilarious. Killed it.
Absolutely killed
Yeah,
it.
it's the shanty, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Irish, like a folk
Yeah.
song or like
Yeah, and have fun
Taylor
staying
Swift.
poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, how can we make that like our song, man? I don't know, because it's absolutely brilliant.
Do we have a song, Puppy?
I don't know. Not yet.
Let's see here. I've got an idea. Let's see if I can find this.
But Knut, since I think I have a problem putting on sound from a screen share, why don't you sing it for us? Let it rip, Knut. Fix the money, fix the world is saying it. Let it rip, Knut. That was fire. Fuck your money. All right. Here come Knut.
The one and only.
Yeah. There's a.
Oh Jesus, he really does have a guitar.
This is why
Son
you
of a
should
bitch.
never mix beers and podcasts, right?
Now I
Especially not
know.
on Monday.
Now we
boy.
got the answer to the question last week why Knut's wife married him. Here we go.
You say without inflation we couldn't get ahead, but here's a proposition: let prices drop instead. The central bankers fool us and markets get the blame. But I've got fuck you. Where is it now? But I've got fuck you monies. There it is. I've got
let's
fuck
repeat
you
that.
money so I can leave the game. My faith in all of your systems. I don't remember the song. Sorry.
But we like it. We like it. We love it.
My faith in all of your systems eroding because of you. I'm tired of all of this lies and all busting my ass off for you. Oh, need to switch to the lyrics tab here.
The lyrics, where is the lyrics? Oh, you do.
You
Yeah.
say to save the climate, you need us ducks in line. But you can't change the weather, and you can't change my mind. For I don't need no ruler, and I don't need to vote. 'Cause I've got fuck you money, and that's the antidote.
Brilliant.
My faith in all of your systems eroding because of you. I'm tired of all of your lies and of busting my ass off for you. My faith in all of your systems eroding because of you. I'm tired of all of your lies and of busting my ass off for you. Something like that. Sorry,
Damn.
all about it.
Damn. So good, man.
That's why you're not clapping.
Well,
That was awesome, Knut. That was awesome. Look, can I tell you one thing, Puppy? Toxic happy hour, I guess they bring it. They bring it. That was beautiful, man. My day is made.
No, I didn't want to clap or yell in there because one, it was so damn good, and two, this is what you know. What it's not really a show. What makes us different is, man, I like people fucking just be themselves. There's nothing. There's nothing they have to rehearse. Love it.
I have to rehearse that song a bit more though, because I've forgotten about it. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
because
a
that.
ukulele. This is a very small guitar.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought I was hoping it's a ukulele because I have one, but I haven't learned to play it yet.
The ukulele?
No.
Yeah.
They're sort of hard to get anything good out of.
You
The
have
ukulele
something.
said.
You have something to live up to now. If you bring an instrument on Toxic Happy Hour, Puppy, the bar, the floor has been set very high right now by Knut.
Oh, look, I'll go full angry ukulele player. I'll bust it over a stage, bust into 1,000 pieces, and I'll call it art.
Yeah, go Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, those sellouts.
Knut, it was very popular. Yep, pick it up. Let's go.
How was that again?
Yeah. Rage, that's Rage.
I don't remember this stuff. Yeah. Rage Against the Machine are sellouts. Yes, of course.
Yeah, I remember.
Made some good songs.
Yeah. I remember at university headbanging to Rage Against the Machine, and then a couple of years ago they sold out by being hired by one of the parties running for president here in the United States, saying you should, basically listen to the Machine and go vote or something. But yeah, that was a great first album they came out with. And Knut, next time you come on, I'd love to hear that song that you just started playing because it's awesome.
No, I can't really cover Rage Against the Machine.
You can. Anything is possible.
Not really.
Anything is possible on THH.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is sort of a good point to round things off, I think, before I get too stupid about this thing.
Yeah, I guess, Poppy, you told me you had a lot of preparation, but it seems you run out of question, and for that reason,
what do you mean? I carried the show, brother. Yeah. No, I'll look down there. What do you? Let me look. Discovered. Yeah, we hit a lot of them. Yeah, minimum wage, UBI, currency wars, discovered versus invented. Yep, social media or book burners. Yep.
Yo, coach.
No, yeah. So, yeah, we hit my 15 questions. It's up to you, Anders. What do you got?
I mean, I wrote a couple of notes early on because about 2 hours ago, Knut was talking about Richard Hart and why he went shitcoin. Let me tell you the true story about that, which is an absolute guess from my side, but nevertheless, I think an extremely qualified guess. I remember November, December 2017, Richard Hart, which I was listening to. He was a good Bitcoin content creator, pretty sharp. He was saying how easy it was to make a lot more money than normal NGU tech, outcompete NGU tech by leveraging up 2x on BitMEX. But guess what? When you level up 2x on BitMEX, everything you have disappears in a crash. Play with leverage, you get burned. It's a matter of time. So he lost all his Bitcoin, I think, in the after the 2017 top when we went into the 18 bear market, pretty quick. I'm guessing that in January 18, he lost what he had, and for that reason, he started a shitcoin so he could earn Bitcoin from money from people that were willing to give him their Bitcoin for his Hex shitcoin. So that's a little story about him. But also, I would love to hear Knut what he feels. You mentioned that Andreas was one of your professors. How do you feel about Andreas today?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't talk down on a guy that has given me so much. It's reluctant to do that. But let me just say that I hate shitcoinery and everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
I like Bitcoin and nothing else. He seems to like other stuff, so I pay less attention to him.
The hard part for me was when you listen to him, he has such a natural way of explaining Bitcoin to people. He was such a natural, brilliant, and that's why I love. That's why I like Michael Saylor so much. That guy got it so quickly, but his mindset, the way he can describe it, opens it up to many people. Andreas was the same way. He brought people into Bitcoin. Now, look, he may have his own thing on what he's doing, but I will never sort of disavow him or burn him down because it's tough. It's a tough call because he brought so many.
You should call out if you don't call out fraud when you see fraud. You're a fraud.
Yes, I know. But it's tough.
But the thing is, I guess I think he's sort of sincere. I don't know the level of sincerity, but he comes from a like computer science background, and he has that angle, and that's his interest in this, and that's what he did from the beginning. Too bad it doesn't really get the philosophical or the monetary aspects of it, because I think he's flawed there, and he doesn't really see what it will do to governments and like nation states and stuff like that. Maybe. Well, he's good. He's been good for the first phases of Bitcoin, but Bitcoin changes you more than you can change it, and this is true for Andreas Antonopoulos too. So it's a thing that ought to be studied, and like it matters more what Bitcoin does than what anyone in Bitcoin does. Yeah. So that's where your focus should be. Learn about the thing. Yeah. But like I said, I'm happy to trash talk someone else.
Oh, you want to go there? Yeah, we can go there, man.
No, it's not really my thing.
I know.
Like trash talk.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. Personally, I have no problem with calling out Andreas for endorsing not the biggest shitcoin of them all, because we also have US dollar, we have euro, etc. But digital blockchain shitcoin, Ethereum, is the biggest of those. But Pubby, I actually think that Knut he wanted to get out of here. He's really trying to get out of here. And doorbell is ringing.
Hey, look, just because doorbells ring. No, I had one last question for Knut. Really. Yeah. Now, when it comes to it, as you're looking down the road, as we move forward, what corporation? What is the main one? Is it Tesla? Is it what's the main corporation that goes public and says we're going in? Fuck it, we're going all in.
The first thing that comes to mind is like MicroStrategy they will exceed all the other. They already did that, and they were the first ones, and they will surpass all the other ones. So I don't think. I mean, these are dinosaurs now.
No, what I'm saying is to capture the imagination, because most people in the world have no idea about MicroStrategy. Okay, no one knows. What I'm saying is, what is the main Amazon, Facebook?
No, but the thing is, like, no one predicted Amazon, no one predicted Facebook, no one predicted Twitter, or like any of those. They came from nowhere, seemingly nowhere, including Google. And we're all started in a garage somewhere, and the big players in the Bitcoin space will have a similar journey. I don't think the old companies they will be too late. There will be new companies and like I don't believe Google or Amazon or Facebook will hop on this train too. When they do, it will be too late.
That's my question. When did they hop on? Which one's the first? and how long will it be?
Depends on what kind of an adoption curve, what kind of a stage of hyper Bitcoinization we're in. If this is the last cycle or not. If it is the last cycle, they might hop on to the train. I don't know. They could do it tomorrow. We don't know this, but sooner or later, everyone's bound to figure this thing out. But it requires you to see the world in a different way than you used to, and I don't think old institutions are very good at that. Not even the forefront high tech ones. To think in new ways, and especially this is where the Silicon Valley thing is so funny, because their mantra is to move fast and break things, right? And think in new ways about. And Bitcoin is about figuring it out once and then doing the same thing over and over again. And that's not the Silicon Valley way of doing things. I believe their minds are not primed for getting this. They're bound to fall for the Ethereum scam instead, and doing that thing.
No, I mean, I don't think that the FANG companies will start buying Ethereum, because none, and this is a very important point actually, none of these big players, the professional players, go in and buy Ethereum to store corporate value. They know that Ethereum is unlimited and it has infinity, and Bitcoin has the 100% hard cap. I think it's interesting. So the Marathon Patent Corporation, or whatever they're called, that announced that they bought Bitcoin today. So what we're seeing now is the smaller companies, the ones where a few people can make a decision faster, get into Bitcoin before the big companies that have a lot of things to take into consideration, a lot of stakeholders to respect before they can make the move. But anything that slows down your adoption of Bitcoin will basically put you behind the queue of getting Bitcoin. But I think we'll see these smaller companies first that can make the move. Later, the bigger companies like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, etc., will start entering the game, and when that happens, it's gonna be game over. I think Knut has a song ready for us. I think we should respect the fact that he has been writing in the private chat about 17 times now that he really has to end the show. No, look at that.
I didn't see that.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You want
But
another song?
I feel Knut has a song coming on.
Maybe I'll try another song.
Okay.
I see you staring at the sun while I'm waiting for the moon. Much too soon, I'll be a better man if I can't get things done. Time betrays me, and I don't wanna waste my years. Things that I cannot replace. All of the days I give to someone I don't care for disappear. Time is wasted, leave it to the tide to rule the ocean. Leave it to the moon to rule the tide. Was it just my pride, or am I working for no cause? When can we sail back home? I see you staring at the waves while I'm gazing to the sky.
So good.
Don't know why,
Fuck, man.
but it seems I can't be taught how to behave. Time betrays me, leave it to the tide to rule the ocean.
Oh,
Leave it to the moon to rule the tide. Is it just my pride, or am I working for no cause? When can we sail back home? When can we sail back home? When can we sail back home?
Knut,
And-
I mean, this is peak Toxic Happy Hour right here. Knut
Yeah, man.
playing and
Yeah.
singing like a. Okay, I could absolutely put myself out there to get embarrassed, but so who's behind this song? I could guess I would get it wrong. Whose song is this?
Mine, of course.
His. But what you
I only play
can
my own songs.
he plays it. That's what's beautiful. But I'll tell you this: you can sense the Beatles' influence on that one. A lot of Beatles in there.
Oh, thank you.
I was gonna ask.
There's a-
Those,
that was
is that
all.
Beatles? I was gonna
There's-
ask. Is that
no.
Beatles?
No. Listen, that's
Oh, you don't
Knut's.
know what you
but-
know what I think? You hack my
Yeah, of course.
link or what?
Your thought process is pretty easy to hack. I will say though that I mean the Beatles' influence not only on music but in this song in particular is fantastic. Maybe perhaps even Mr. George Harrison, God rest his soul.
Oh, thank you.
Fucking brilliant stuff, man. Brilliant stuff.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was beautiful, Knut. You make me realize why we're doing a Toxic Happy Hour live show.
No, truly, because let me bring something up, and I hope, man, if there's any, well, still 31 people I think watching. What I think is fantastic is you inspire people. You're inspired to write a book about Bitcoin. Bitcoin inspires people to do things they weren't in their mind ever meant to do, but they did it anyway. So I love it because you can, I mean, you pick up an instrument, you write a poem, you come up with something. So I think it's absolutely fantastic. And you can feel from the heart, man, when you sing that, it's from the heart.
Thank you.
You can't make that up. Like our this little crappy podcast we do, we call it crappy tongue in cheek in a way because yeah, it is. In a way we just like to talk about Bitcoin. But you know what it turned into? It turns into a point where I learn more about Bitcoin. I read some great authors. We had people up from you to Jeff Booth. We get people that come and join us because of the same process in a way that we get to hang out, man. So
Yeah.
if I get to go a little bit long here, and that was absolutely fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. And
Knut, thank you very much. That was it's.
Can you try to lead the show like everyone else?
I know, like. No, Knut is hoping.
it's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just that I have to get up tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Hey, no, Knut, you had fucking money. You said you don't need to get up tomorrow, right? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that. On second thought.
Right. But Poppy, I think we should probably take that as the cue from.
Yeah, there's a cue.
Knut, why don't
Thanks to everyone watching. too. I
Yeah.
sort of read a tenth of the comments. You sort of have to make up your mind if you're going to read them or not.
Yeah. No, you add look.
They're a distraction, definitely, but a good distraction.
The chat is the show. But right now on Twitter, we have this thing trending right here. Let's see if it comes up. Free Knut. So on that note, and there's a lot. It's trending in the chat for sure. So there's a lot of those. Knut, why don't you do your final shills? Tell us, remind everyone what's the name of your books. Can they get them on Amazon? And where can people buy your CD that you're gonna put out? Or are you on Spotify with those songs?
Yes, some songs are on Spotify. Not that one. I think I put that on SoundCloud. I don't remember. But anyway, my books are here. You've seen them a few times now. And well, most of my Bitcoin content is still on Twitter, even though Twitter is sort of an anti-thing to Bitcoin now. I'm also on Mastodon. I just started a Telegram channel. Since I have a lot of stuff coming up this week, you can join my Telegram channel, and I'll post everything I do there.
Question, Knut. So when I come to Denmark next time, we are in the same tiny Nordic Bitcoiner Telegram group, and
should hang out.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, are you anywhere in the vicinity of southern Sweden, Copenhagen, that if the guys put together a meetup, we could sit around the campfire and hear you sing these Bitcoiner songs? That would be peak.
Yeah, I could get my ass over to Copenhagen. Takes me about 2.5 hours, so it's nothing.
Trying to locate you there in Sweden. Are you in Gothenburg or south? You're south of Gothenburg. All right, we don't want to get into that. So as Plan Marcus says, there's only 12 minutes left of the exit. Knut, thank you very much for your sign outs there. Pubby, do you want to take the word before I do the final?
Yeah, and get the merch.
No.
I'll put a link there in the chat.
Yeah. I'll tell you this.
Also, Knut, sorry, let me just put this out here.
Yeah,
so we have Knut.
Go ahead.
We have the link to Knut, Twitter down below. We have a lot of links to a lot of things. Most of them are absolutely what they call affiliate links. But link to go follow Knut. Knut, I'm sure will have links from there to his album on Spotify that you heard part of the songs from.
No, I didn't hear any of my Spotify stuff now.
and also your writings, etc. And links to buy your books on Kindle. So, Pubby, I'll give the word back over to you, my man.
Right. Let me say one thing about Knut, man. Just a fan favorite, obviously. He always likes to gatecrash, come in. He's always supported the show. Until he leaves.
No, lockdown.
Until he leaves. No, great dude, man. Was always looking forward to this one. Look, man, he was playing live music on our show. What can you say? On our podcast, we got Knut lighting up.
I gotta tell you, those songs, I love them. They move me.
I
love that. They were good. He sings well, man.
Yeah, who knew? Who knows? I know. And do you know who else knows?
Yeah,
everyone else that listens to THH, man. The viewers.
THH, baby. THH, baby. They know.
We brought out Knut singing. Oh, by the way, hang on. I go check dinner. I'll be right back.
You gotta. Hey, are you coming back or are you gonna leave me here? Just let us know. Are you?
No, I'm coming back in 5 minutes. I'm also doing dinner as well, man.
All right.
Pubby does it all. All right, man.
All right. I'll see if I can keep it going here. Yeah. Okay. Come back. I'll be here. I'll give you 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes, girl.
All right.
So why don't I, first of all, thanks to Knut, thanks everyone for watching. I'm not signing out yet. I'm giving Pubby the benefit of the doubt that he will be back within 5 minutes. It's now 35 minutes. Let's see if he's here by 41. Let's give him one minute more than he says. Absolutely. So right, let's see what's going on in the chat. Throw me some curveballs from the chat. Scarf pull is incoming. You got that right, Jose Esbam. Am I pronouncing your name right? Throw me some curveballs from the chat. At least, you know, you can't expect me to just, you know, Jose. No, yeah, Marty's Al, you know it. I know you know it because I know you. I've been watching you, knowing that Pubby is not coming back. But throw me some curveballs from the chat. Let's so anyways, let me know in the chat what you guys think about Pubby's curtains. Anyone has you like it yellow, you like it smoky color? Were they originally white and potentially that is a cigar smoke from Big Baller Pubby? I Jose Esbam, ay caramba, yeah. No curveballs from the chat. And all right, so here's a question, I think, from Pedro. I'm going to put it up on the screen before reading what it is. Anders, how about Knut breaking out the guitar? Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. It was that was good. I really loved that his music. That got me jiving for sure. When we're going back, all right. So here's a question. I'll tell you what, John M. When are we going back above 40? I don't think you're talking about 40 viewers because that's never going to happen. I think you're probably talking about $40,000 per Bitcoin. I would say that's absolutely coming in February. The wonderful thing about trading sideways for a couple of weeks is that people should get bullish that the rubber band is being pulled back and we're going to really make a fast move up, like significantly higher. But a lot of people who don't have faith, Bitcoin went up October, Bitcoin went up November, Bitcoin went up December. We're still up in January. Yet people, because we trade sideways for a couple of weeks, they lose all faith. Honestly, if you don't have the faith that Bitcoin is going to the hundreds of thousands and later the millions, what are you even doing here? If you're here to trade fiat gains, you don't deserve it. So yeah, I would, John, I would say in February, Bitcoin not only is going above 40, it's going above $50,000 in February. I don't have any doubt of that. All right. He has a chair. Yeah, so Pubby has a chair. Look, if he doesn't have a chair, that way he can like strap in with a seatbelt, he will fall down. You guys know that. So I asked him actually, for the sake of the show, to step it up and get a seatbelt. Absolutely. So when moon, question is, Taproot, what is your definition of, man, Restream is really slow in getting these chats up on the screen. When moon, that's a great question. Yeah, but yeah, that's probably not going to happen. I think respect the pump. Absolutely. All right, what else have we got in the chat? I want the price to stay as low as so here's a great take. Boiler Room, he gets it. He says he wants the price to stay as low as it can for as long as it can, because that way he'll be able to purchase more Bitcoin. Absolutely. What else we got? Any more? No curveballs. There's no curveballs. That's right. It's much easier to open curtains when you put a little bit of feelings into it. When you're plastered, once you're plastered, you put more feelings and emotions into the things you do, and it just will be easier. All right. Let it be known. Let it be written. Let's screenshot this. Pubby is a bear. Screenshot it. Rubber band sounds like a shitcoin. Yes, it could be. It could be a shitcoin. I get it. Right. So do you think Richard? All right. Let's see here. Do you think Richard Hart will face any legal action in the future for his scam, John? So yeah, I think that any shitcoiners really could face legal actions. So Cripple, Army, XRP company, whatever, are the first. Unbelievable. Pubby is back. and he can't hear me now because he don't have the headphones in. Can you hear me now, Puppy? Can you?
Oh,
That's Puppy. That's Puppy.
there you
I
are.
think
Yeah.
I think Vitalik Buterin will face legal action because that is a centralized, absolute shitcoin and illegal security. And you can say
Get ready for that one.
whether you like the laws or not. I'm not a big fan of state or government, but
yes, you are.
But hey, according to Mafia, what he did is illegal. It's just a matter of Mafia going to take him out. So, Poppy, welcome back. How's dinner going? Are they preparing dinner for you as they should be doing?
No, Puppy does it all, baby. Yeah, I'm going with a chicken pot pie tonight, but you got to put the foil on the edge a bit. If you really want a good chicken pot pie, you got to make sure you don't burn the crust.
Poppy, this year, 2021, I want to come to your home and taste your cooking because I've seen it. I've seen pictures of your barbecue, especially, and the way I hear talking about your meals that you prepare. I'm sold. I want to. So, what's your favorite kind of dishes you do? Do you do some like Thai food with them curry, something spicy? What do you got?
Well, listen, if you're going to do anything with Thai food, usually you outsource it, but you get it Thai hot. That thing, I like usually the noodles are fantastic, spicy rice, but yeah, it's got to be hot. Myself, I make a Caesar salad from scratch. I do steaks. The steaks, I just know how long to grill them for different reasons and what to marinate. So I can do yeah, pretty much anything.
I bet. I can't wait, man. I'm coming to see you, and
Yep.
I'm looking forward to meet your family and taste your cooking. I'm serious. But how do you do the Caesar salad dressing? You make it yourself, right? Because I trust you're a bit of a chef. You don't buy the finished Caesar dressing, do you?
No, not at all. So here we go. If you're ready, you got a pen in hand, because take down the notes. I'll tell you how it is. You get a can of anchovies. Open it up. You dry them out. Put them on just any sense of napkins or paper towel. You dry them out. That one can, just throw it into a blender. Then you need about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic into a blender. Then about 2 tablespoons of let's say a mustard, Dijon mustard. I prefer the country Dijon mustard. Oh, guess who's delivering the mustard right now? Put that in there. One. Then you throw in 1 egg, 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, and half a lemon juice. Just take half a lemon. That's it. 6 ingredients, dude. And you blend that thing up, and you toss it.
Do you toss the salad?
You toss it with the romaine, man. You toss it with the romaine. The romaine, though, that's an important part of the stuff. You have to put in the romaine with salt and pepper. Well, a little bit of salt, but mostly pepper and cheese. A little Romano. Pecorino Romano.
I cannot wait to taste your little cooking of Caesar salad here. So you prepare the chicken. How do you prepare the chicken for the Caesar salad? This is totally irrelevant. We're not talking Bitcoin anymore because you should already have bought all the Bitcoin that you possibly could, taken out all the dirty fiat loans you possibly could. That's not financial advice. That is just my opinion. So go seek professional help if you want to mess it up real good. Puppy, how do you prepare the chicken for that?
I don't. There's no chicken. That Caesar mostly goes with the steak. It just goes with the steak, man. Don't put chicken on there.
I like it. You level up the Caesar salad. You put steak.
Who doesn't? Oh, they should.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like
it. So yeah, the chicken thing. was a fallacy sold to many people. No, man, this Caesar salad carries the steak. That's how good it is. The steak is secondary.
So, do you have any other spice in that apart from the Dijon mustard?
Nope.
But that's all you need, am I right?
Trust me.
Okay, so
Pubby's got you covered on this one. It's good.
Puppy, if I want to take you for a pub crawl in the town you live, do you have enough pubs available to be able to last us a shot and a Guinness at every single pub, or one or the other?
We got a few. We got a few here.
Do you have enough?
I think so.
Awesome. So let's see what the chat has for you. They're actually all talking with Knut. Knut is still in the chat.
That's cool.
So yeah, the big question is, we can't ask that of Knut because he did exit the show. I'm not going to say exit scam because he's in the right. Once you do 2.5 hours, it's okay. You can leave. But
yeah,
the question is if he's a free diver. Obviously, he's a rocket scientist. How deep? But how deep can he go? That's the big question. How many fathoms of water?
I'll say this about Knut, dude. The guy's brilliant, man. The guy's brilliant, and he brings it. And look, it takes like a plebe. Yeah, I'll say it. A plebe like me. I go through the book. I come up with my questions. He's got great answers. Love it.
Yeah,
love it. The guy's fantastic.
Absolutely. For me, the music, the songs were peak. That was peak. I love it.
Hey, listen again. What can we say? We have a show that brings out an author to sing live. Whatever, man.
Yeah.
You know what's great about it, man? No sponsors, no nothing.
Yeah, simply because no one wants to sponsor this shit show.
No. I don't mean it like that. What I mean is
I mean it like that.
Yeah. No, I mean in the sense of he believes in us, we believe in him, and he'll say, "Yeah, you know what? I'm going to sing a couple fucking songs that I wrote. He created. That's the best part. He made it up himself."
Yeah. I honestly thought that was a Beatles song, but I knew I was wrong, so I didn't want to put it out there. No. But that was so Beatles, man.
It was. That's why I didn't call him out on it. I said, but I can see his influence. I can see his influence.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, but I gotta take off here, my friend.
You do. Yeah.
So we had a hell of a show.
That was fun, man. It was great. I look forward to have Knut back. If we can get Jeff Booth to join with Knut, how awesome would that be? That would be a great show.
Gonna happen.
But only if Sheila Booth is in the chat. She's gotta be in the chat. Otherwise, it's not a Jeff Booth episode. But Pubby, let's give some final words to you before I do the official sign out.
When I look back over the people that have influenced my thought process here, Knut was a big one. And when I get a chance to realize, like, man, this guy is actually going to be on our show. It was so cool. He has been gate crashing and just having a good time with us. He brings it. He is one of the thought leaders in our space. So I'm happy that we get a chance to hang out. So moving forward, buy Bitcoin. That's it. Buy Bitcoin, hold it. I don't know how many times I got to say it, but buy it, hold it.
Yeah. My preferred favorite time when you said buy Bitcoin was when you said, I'm not saying buy Bitcoin. I'm just saying buy Bitcoin. That was my favorite. So listen, on that note, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for making Toxic Happy Hour what it is, because without you guys in the chat, there would be no show. It's all about getting that chat uncensored on the screen. when it makes fun of me, when it makes fun of Puppy, when it makes fun of our guest. That's what we do here. The uncensored chat, best chat in this space. So final words is please be careful of storing more value in dirty fiat currency than you can afford to lose. It's a built-in policy. They want to wipe out the value of your savings. They have convinced you it's good for you. It's obviously not good for you. Start to, this is the time that we fight back. Apply brain power to where you put the value, which means when you apply brain power, you don't hold more fiat currency than you do need to pay bills in the short term. In my opinion, that's not financial advice, but be careful with that dirty fiat. And on that note, Puppy, thank you very much. Knut, thank you so much. Chat, thank you so much. Until the next one, bye.
Ciao, Belle. Ciao.